Hello, Grace family, and thank you for joining us today. This year in our middle school and high school programs, we've been looking at different characters in the Bible. This has been a great study for our students as we've looked at how God has been able to use and is able to use all types of people with many backgrounds and different personalities. This past week with our high school students and group, we looked at the prophet Elijah. See, God sent the prophet Elijah to confront the worst king in Israel, King Ahab. It says that King Ahab was determined to make Baal worship the official state religion of Israel. Things had gotten so bad that the prophets of God had to take refuge because their lives were in danger due to the wife of Ahab, Jezebel, who loved to torture and kill the prophets of God. So Elijah knew his life was in jeopardy by simply going and talking to Ahab. However, God promised that he would protect Elijah. So he confronted Ahab along with all of the false prophets. And here is what it says. He told them in 1 Kings 18:21. It says, "How long will you go limping between two different opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him." And the people did not answer him a word. Elijah had given them an ultimatum: follow Baal or follow God. The people needed to make a choice, but they did not. They did not make a choice until Elijah put Ahab and Baal to the test. Well, what exactly was that test? See, they were to kill two bulls, and then each of them were to put that bull on an altar and make a sacrifice to their gods. They then were to call on their God to bring down fire to consume that sacrifice. So Ahab puts his bull on the altar, calls to Baal for him to come down and consume his bull sacrifices. He pleaded with him and prayed for him all day long, but the fire did not come. Elijah then puts his bull on the altar and pours water over it, and then calls on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel to send down fire to consume his sacrifice. Guess what? The Bible tells us in 1 Kings 18:38, it says, "Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt offerings, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench." And then it goes on to say, "And when all the people saw it, they fell on their face and said, 'The Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God.'" Elijah's God came through, and he came down and consumed everything on the altar. At that time, all the people fell on their faces and worshiped the one true God. They finally made a choice. That one true God is the same God we worship today. So we challenge our students to be bold like Elijah and take a stand for God. We ask them to be that one who talks with a classmate about the Lord, to be the one who prays before their meal, to be the one who takes a stand when teaching is contrary to God's word. We challenge them to lovingly share what the Bible teaches. And we encourage them to be the friend who comes alongside others and loves them and shares Jesus with them. What about you? Are you being bold like Elijah? Elijah took a bold stand for the Lord. He confronted the false gods of his day. But unlike Ahab and the prophets of Baal, Elijah had a personal relationship with the living God that gave him strength, integrity, and the ability to do an unpopular thing and take a stand. Most of us will never be called on to be like Elijah, but we are all given the opportunity to stand up for what we believe and to take a stand for the truths that are in God's word. Let me encourage you to continue to look to Christ and to keep your focus on him. He will empower you to be bold for him. So as you choose to take bold stands for the Lord, remember, he promises to be with you and encourage you along the way.